Hey friends, it's Emily from Build-A-Bear, and I am so excited because I am joined today by one of the stars of the new movie, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Colleen O Shaughnessey. Colleen is the voice of Sonic's buddy, Tails, my personal favorite character, and she is here to talk to us about this awesome new movie, which opens in theaters nationwide on Friday, April 8th. So mark your calendars now. You're not going to want to miss it. And we're going to learn all about this iconic character. So Colleen, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. How are you?
Doing great. I literally have a countdown on my phone for April 8th. Sonic was my absolute favorite game, my favorite video game growing up. And you are the voice of Tails in the video game. So can you tell us about the journey of joining this iconic franchise and playing this incredible character through all of these different iterations?
Oh, it's been such a wild ride and so amazing. So when my first foray into Tails was with Sonic Boom, the series, as well as the games. And I've been doing those ever since. And then this movie comes along and I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited. This has just been, I feel like Cinderella. I mean, it's really just been amazing.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. So Tails was first introduced at the very end of the first movie. And that marks your feature film debut. And now you're back in a big way for the second movie. What was it like to see the audience's reaction to Tails in that super secret cameo?
That was crazy. I had no idea they were going to, theaters exploding with cheers. And they were so excited. People sent me the videos of their theaters exploding with, just excitement. I knew people liked Tails, but I had no idea. And it was universal. It wasn't just like one or two theaters. It was like every theater, they're just so excited to see Tails. They were like, yes. And I was like,
like I said, he is my favorite. There's just something about him that's so lovable. He's got that mischievousness, but has such a good heart. What was it like to get the phone call saying, we want you back for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to take this incredible journey?
I couldn't believe it. I was so excited, so grateful, just honored to keep playing him, that they trusted me with the role in this huge scope was just amazing. I still can't, I feel like someone's going to jump out from behind a plant and be like, haha, just kidding.
Well, I can assure you it is 100% real. And you are joining some incredible talent. Yes. Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, Jim Carrey, and also joining the cast is Idris Elba. What is it like to have your name said with all of those incredible talents?
It's crazy. It's amazing. I see it and if you Google me and then it just comes up and all of their faces and then mine. And it's really something.
That's absolutely incredible. So being a voice actor, what is it like to really try to bring a character to life using just your voice? How is that different from what others might call in-person acting, for lack of a better term?
Yeah. So I have friends that call it face acting. The interesting thing is, you don't have anything but your voice. So you don't have sets or costumes or props or your face or your hands or your body. You don't have any of those things to help tell your story. All you have is your voice. So you have to find a way to, have every emotion, every situation come through clearly just using your voice. It's a skill that, you have to kind of learn how to do. I don't know why I can do it. I'm super happy that I can. But it's, it is an acting skill for sure, because you can't do voiceover without being able to be a good actor. But it's a very different skill than acting in front of a camera. In front of a camera, you need to know, what are my hands doing? Like right now, my hands are moving all over the place. Maybe you wouldn't do that in a scene in a movie. You know what I mean? So it is definitely a skill that it can be tricky to make sure that you get all of that through with just using your voice.
Absolutely. How did you discover this talent? Were you always great at impressions? How did you kind of not necessarily fall into it, but how did you discover the path of voice acting?
So I started out doing musical theater. I was at the University of Michigan and I was doing musical theater and psychology. I had these two degrees and I was exhausted. I was like, no more school. What am I going to do now? And I really didn't want to go to New York and do theater, and Chicago. I was in Michigan, so Chicago's pretty close, and I kind of didn't want to do that. So I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I always just did voices without even realizing I was doing it. So I was at the end of a class, and an instructor came over and heard me, and she said, "Was that you?" And I was like, "Sorry." She said, no, you need to do voiceover. And I mean, I had always watched The Wonderful World of Disney and The Muppet Show and Saturday morning cartoons, and went around the house being Captain Caveman and Kermit the Frog, like I always did that without realizing. I mean, that was like my training. I was Miss Piggy. I was like every character I saw. Hey, boo boo is a big and a best. Like that was me all through my childhood, and not even realizing that I was practicing for my life's work. But she said those words to me, and it never occurred to me that was somebody's job. I don't know why it didn't, but it didn't. And I was like, well, that is it. I'm going to go to LA and I'm going to be the Little Mermaid. That is it. Cause I sang too, doing musical theater. So, and so I did. I moved to LA and I started asking questions, and, the journey was long, but it paid off, and I love what I do. I absolutely love it.
That's amazing. And I love that story, because Build-A-Bear Radio, we obviously have a lot of young listeners, a lot of families that tune in, and that's just such a great message for them, that your dreams can really be anything that you want, and you may not even know that that's a path for you. That Yogi Bear, whoever does the voice of Yogi's got to watch his back. That was amazing. Right? To follow your passions and the things that bring you joy can be a path for your life. And I just think that's an incredible message. So just thank you for sharing that with our listeners. And then to think that has brought you to this incredible place where you have this huge longevity with, again, just such an iconic franchise of Sonic, who's been around for what feels like forever.
Yeah.
You've been Tails for so long. What do you love most about him?
I love his loyalty. I love his, his willingness to, like, even if it's something, bonkers, he's willing to jump in because he's got to help his friends. He's the best friend anybody could have. And I love how smart he is. He's always tinkering and creating these gadgets that don't always work, but he always just goes for it, and he's like, oh, this is the one that's going to work. And a lot of times they do, and they help, and they, get him out of sticky situations. So
I love that. Again, he's just, there's something just so lovable and wonderful. I think you really hit that. It really, I think, is his loyalty and his friendship. We should all have a friend like Tails, right?
We should, absolutely.
Yes, I love it so much. I just can't get over how much I love that little guy.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking about the movie, the first movie, full of laughs, full of fun, full of adventure, had so much heart. And now we get to see the continuation of that journey. How do you bring all of that energy to a character? Like you said, you don't have a set, you don't have your co-stars oftentimes aren't in the booth with you. How do you really capture the energy and the feeling that the film and the scene requires?
You go for it. We have a wonderful director in Jeff Fowler that, keeps you on track. We had a wonderful script that was full of the funny. And then there was also the freedom to go off script sometimes. The scenes that I got to work on with Ben, we weren't in the same room because of COVID, but we could at least over Skype or Zoom or whatever thing we were using, we could play off of each other. And he's got an extensive background in improv, as do I. And so it was just, I wouldn't want to say it was easy, but it was easy-ish because it was trusting, like he trusted me, I trusted him. And we, it started out really well. I think that it just, I don't know. Everything you do, you work on is a collaboration. And so everybody helps everybody else get to that place of where it needs to go.
I love that so much. And I love that you guys got to work together, even if it was over Skype or Zoom, that you could have that back and forth and that playfulness. Sounds like a really fun day at work. Oh,
so much fun. See, that's the thing. Like, we have too much fun, and it's almost like you should not get paid for that.
But also I should get paid for this. I love it. So the movie opens April 8th in theaters nationwide, which is so exciting that we're getting to go back to the theaters, go back to being together as a community and having those wonderful shared experiences like you saw when Tails made his surprise appearance at the end of the movie. So when people go see this film, we don't want any spoilers, of course, but were there any favorite moments that you think people should kind of keep an eye out for?
Definitely the scene in Siberia. That was
Ooh.
so much fun and hilarious and just sort of, kind of takes you out a little bit of like all of the action. Like they're still, trying to achieve their goals, but it's really fun.
Okay, Siberia. Now, okay.
Scene in Siberia.
Because the last movie didn't leave the States. So this is very exciting. Sonic is going global. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So we are Build-A-Bear. We are a company known for their experiences. I've been holding my own personal tails here.
I have one too.
Hi.
Hi.
This guy, you guys. I want everyone to know he has his tails and he is just
his
loving.
shoes.
He's just as snuggly and cuddly as you could ever expect him to be. Do you have any Build-A-Bear memories? Have you been to a Build-A-Bear?
Yeah. So my kids, especially my daughter, I don't know if my son actually made one. He probably came with us and I don't know, he was anyway, but my daughter definitely did. And my mom would always, whenever my parents lived in Michigan, we lived in California. So when they would come, they would always, she's like, we're taking them to Build-A-Bear. And so my daughter has several of them and she loved to get all the outfits. And also my mom, she went the first day and she's like, I think I got the first one. And she bought him a little shirt and she put my voice in it. And she's like, I love him. She's like, I'm going to wear, she asked the girl how long the battery lasted. Cause she's like, I'm going to wear it out before
Oh my gosh. That is absolutely amazing. And I love that it's something that you do with your family. We'll have to get you and your son back out there so he can make his own, but that's love hearing that it's something that you get to do with your parents and building those great memories. And you'll just have to add tails to their collection. It's really special that it's something that their mom has played a role in for so long, and to see it come to life has just got to feel really special. So I was
so excited to hear that Tails was getting Build-A-Bear. I was like, yay! Very excited.
That's fantastic. It's like your own action figure, just in
a totally
slightly more huggable form.
It's really, and you guys did a great job. He's really cute. Love him.
Thank you. Well, we know that our fans are going gangbusters for Sonic and Tails. They're available in the store and online. Got to let everyone know where they can go get their own. Make sure you get it before the movie comes out on April 8th. Bring it to the theater so that they can go on the ride with everyone in the theater and the movies. Colleen, thank you so much for joining us today here on Build-A-Bear Radio. We cannot wait to go see the movie. I will be there first thing April 8th. On Friday in theaters. Cannot wait. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.